What? Did my Wolverine 88 sell? What happened? Oh, we're recording? We're recording. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle Haas. And in this video, we got to talk about how nobody is happy, okay? Nobody is happy. Everyone is negative. And yet, this is the best time ever to be collecting comic books. Sorry for me having my sunglasses in the opening of the video and dozing off right there because, I just had to kind of sleep through all of this drama that is going on right now in all of things comic books. And in this video, we really got to talk more about why this is the best time. But before I get into the video, if you guys can drop me a like or comment or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, helps support the channel doing those things. I appreciate it. But let's get into this video here today. All right. We got to talk a little bit about a few different things going on in the comic book community right now. I've been doing YouTube as a comic book content creator for 2 years now. And I have to say, in the 2 years that I've been doing this, there has never been a time more negative, in my opinion, than right now. I mean, we're talking, I think it all started with the acetate stuff, kind of dripped into, some of the market conditions. But right now, I feel like we are at all-time peak negativity, whether it's from, variant cover stuff, or it's comic book prices falling, or it's She-Hulk is the worst show ever, or it's, Blade getting pushed to, next year, X-Men are never going to come, sell all my X-Men keys, Secret Wars getting pushed out to 2026, comics are going to be dead by then. Whatever it is, the negativity is at peak percentages at this moment in time. And I feel like this is right where we want to be. I think that this is good for us comic book collectors right here. You know what I think is interesting? I've been fortunate to have done this channel, and I've seen a little bit of growth and so on and so forth, and seen some success in YouTube, and it's been really, really great. And I think, a lot of people out there, you guys know, whether you're a collector or you're a seller, or maybe you yourself do some kind of content creation, we all know that in 2021 was a boom year for comic books. It was a boom year for many collectibles in all kind of genres. And we had a infusion of people, new collectors coming into the hobby, and it was a great thing overall. I mean, it created a lot of rise of prices and a lot of competition out there, but generally speaking, it's better to have more people in the hobby than not. Well, kind of now where we are, I mean, the easy money has been made. Gone are the days of being able to get a book and do a quick flip and be able to, 3x on your comic book overnight. I mean, people, I think, are still trying to do that, especially with the variant craze, with everything going on, like the stuff at NYCC. But, it's like that game is just not going to work the same anymore. And I think a lot of people have left the hobby. In fact, if you're watching this video right now, I mean, we got to pat ourselves on the back a little bit. The fact that we're still here, this is an excellent time to be in, because all of the negativity is causing the market to devalue all of these books. And it is my opinion that things are so undervalued at this moment in time, or at least if they're not undervalued, this is such a good time to acquire so many of those great comic books that we all want. I mean, like, people don't want Savage She-Hulk #1 right now. I mean, it's completely gone back to a total trash book. And who cares what you think about the show? I personally don't think it's the greatest show out there in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know that some people enjoyed at least the last episode, but regardless, like, I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of belief that some point down the line, they're going to take this character, they're going to put her in an Avengers movie, she's going to have a great interplay with some other, A-list actor, Tony Stark and She-Hulk doing banter, and everyone is going to fall back in love with that book, and everyone's going to want to buy it once again. Or maybe you don't care about that book, or it is possible that the census is going to cause that book to never be able to eclipse its peak values once again. But I also think of other books out there that people just don't want. Like, I think about Avengers 57, first appearance of Vision. Nobody wants that book right now. Nobody even cares about the character of Vision. Do we not think that Vision is going to make a return after flying up into space, never to be seen again? Do you think that that's going to be the way that they end the Vision storyline? Just him flying up away from Scarlet Witch, never to be seen again? I highly doubt that. Even the Red Skull, who got sucked into space, made an appearance once again in Infinity War. Or other people, want to talk about books like, I don't know, Journey into Mystery number 85, first appearance of Loki. I mean, granted, that's like a hard book to kind of find, not a lot of supply out there, but the fervor to get their hands on the book, not even close to where it was. And that is an amazing book. It's such a good book. Outside of the fact that we're going to be getting a season 2 of Loki, it is such a classic Silver Age Marvel blue chip, yet nobody cares about it anymore. Nobody wants it. And I think that, it's amazing to me to be able to see the supply of these books back on places like eBay, just to see them out there. I mean, before, it was impossible to even find these things. And now finally, there's opportunities to buy them. And now that they're there, for people to buy them, nobody even wants them anymore. One of the biggest advantages I think we have right now is the fact that we are coming off of the boom of 2021. We have what I like to refer to as price memory, except this time, our price memory is actually going to work in favor to us, where shout out to Drew, Como Comic Books. He tells me all the time when he was collecting back in 2005, anytime I say, oh, Drew, I just picked up such and such book. He's like, oh, well, I remember back in 2006 when I bought that book for 3 times less than what you paid for it. And I'm like, great. Thank you so much for reminding me of what the prices were all the way back when. I mean, you guys comment all the time too, where it's like, oh, hey guys, check out my Avengers 1. It's like, oh, that's so cool. I bought that in 2010 for $100. And I'm like, cool. Thank you for making me feel good today. But the point is that there's a lot of people out there in the comic book market that have price memory where they remember prices being really, really low. And now where they are today, even with the correction after 2021, they just see it as being ridiculously high. And it's like really hard as a person to stomach, having to make a purchase on a book that you remember being sold for 4 times less, some years back. Whereas now, if you're collecting today, if you're still here, if you're watching this video, we have the reverse effect where I look at all the books' prices and I think about what people were paying for them in the April and May timeframe of 2021. And I think to myself, all of this stuff looks cheap. Like all of these books look cheap. I would buy them all. And my theory, my belief, my hope, whatever you want to call it, my delusion, perhaps is how you guys feel about this, is that I think that there will be a time at some point in the future when we have another bull cycle, another boom cycle. And if it's been proven that some people, not all books, okay guys, not all books, but generally speaking, it's been proven that there are people who are willing to pay certain prices back in 2021, it is likely that at some point in the future, there will be people willing to pay those prices once again. Now, it might take a long time. It might take a few years, for us to get us back to those peak prices. We take a look at some of the index stuff. We do some of the analytics. It is, again, my theory that by 2025, when we get to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, we will start to be rivaling that of the April 2021 prices once again, at least for the key comic books we're talking about, right? Like not everything is going to be able to get back up to its peak performance. Not everything is going to be able to set record highs. I mean, some books definitely are, they were flashes in the pan. But generally speaking, the key books, the blue chips, the ones that people always want that are, year over year are tried and true. I do think that by that time, it is possible that we could be flirting with those record prices once again. Now, we have to talk about some of the news that's going on, some other negative news. The fact that, there's a lot of drama going on with the Blade film, turnover of director, turnover of screenplay. That movie has been pushed out to 2024 now, which it means that Fantastic Four has been pushed out to 2025, which means that Deadpool has also been pushed out, and Secret Wars is now pushed out all the way to 2026. And there's a lot of people out there that are feeling like, oh, great, X-Men is, we're never going to get X-Men, or now, oh, great, Secret Wars, I'm going to sell my Secret Wars books 2026. I can't wait another 6 months to capitalize on these books. Let me just sell them all now. Well, yeah, that might not be a bad strategy. And it's going to be a good strategy for people like us who are here today collecting these comic books. I mean, everything is so volatile out there. Everything, like nobody wants to touch anything with a 10-foot pole. It's crazy to me. And I think that these are good books, man. I think that these are good books. I still see people selling their Avengers 8, First Appearance of Kang the Conqueror. I still see people trying to move that thing when to me, I'm like, it's a great book, man. It's a Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, early Avengers, sub number 10. We haven't even seen Kang yet. We're going to get him so many times over. We got a tremendous actor in Jonathan Majors playing this role. I can't wait for there to be a, Kang did nothing wrong Thanos thread, on Reddit that is full of Kang memes that are sure to be created once we get Ant-Man and Kang Dynasty and all of these movies. I mean, he is primed to be taking over pop culture. Like, there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of really, really great books. My X-Men number 4, that I got to say, my X-Men number 4, of all the books I bought this year, that is the one that I made the biggest mistake, for sure. I have definitely lost out equity on that book. Luckily for me, though, it is a CPR candidate. And at some point, when I get my stuff together, I will be cracking that book and pressing it. I think I could bump it up to a 4.5, maybe even higher. We'll have to see. But I do think that I can recoup the value by CPRing that book. But the point I'm making with that is nobody wants that book right now. Nobody cares about the Scarlet Witch. And it is so glaringly obvious to me that at some point in the future, we're going to get Elizabeth Olsen back and Disney's going to right the ship. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying, She-Hulk is terrible, Werewolf by Night is underwhelming, Moon Knight was terrible, Multiverse of Madness was terrible. And look, I have my issues with a lot of those movies. They definitely, I'd say, are not living up to the standard that was set with Infinity War and Endgame. But I still believe the ship will be right. The ship will be right. The ship will be righted. Righted? Is righted a word? The ship will be righted eventually. We're already hearing the rumblings that's going on in Marvel. A lot of stuff that I think they're recognizing that, they can't coast through phase 5 like they did in phase 4. They're tweaking a lot of this stuff. And I really do believe that once they start to get the good creatives back in the driver's seats with these properties, I believe that this stuff is going to turn around. I think that they will start to recognize some of their mistakes. And I think that we will eventually get to a place once again where people really enjoy these movies universally. I mean, I kind of think that we're in that kind of phase 2 woes right now, where we had like Iron Man 3 and we had Thor the Dark World and we had, some other stuff that came around that time, Age of Ultron, that wasn't as loved as some of the prior properties. And then, when we got to phase 3, for the most part, they were knocking it out of the park because they had learned the lessons that they did from phase 2. So I think this is such a good time, because of the fact that it is so negative. I mean, so many people have been dropping out of this hobby. So many people are throwing their hands up in the air, giving up, like not wanting to collect comic books. They've just lost the love, which is a shame. It shouldn't be that way. It should be a lot of fun. But if you're able to kind of stick around, this is going to be such a good time. This is such a good time. If you're watching this video right now, if you've made it to wherever we're at 10 minutes into this video and you're still watching this because you actually want to listen to a guy talk about comic books in his room, you're probably in a good position, because that means you're probably going to be able to get books at certain, deals right now in a very, bearish market. And by the time we roll around, if you buy smart, if you buy right, if you buy with equity and you can wait it out, I mean, there's 2 scenarios, guys. Either Secret Wars is going to be a complete cluster, which is very, very possible because they did get the writer from Doctor Strange. And, this is not a movie review channel, but let's just say I'm skeptical. Or it could be that they work it all out. They keep it in the oven as long as it needs to be. And we have the most amazing roster of superheroes to ever make their way into a movie. We're going to be sitting in that theater seeing the glorious return of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. And they're going to be leading a team with Hugh Jackman and, Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer and Ghost Rider and Blade and all of these characters. And we're all going to be losing our minds with all of the fan service moments. Is that not going to create a, desire in the market to get all of those key books that we've all lost money on? Is that not going to create a comic book craze, at least at that moment in time? Maybe not. Maybe we're going to all buy NFTs. Everything's going to zero. I don't know anymore. But I will wrap up this video by saying it is so negative out there. Yet it shouldn't have to be. It should be fun. Remember, have fun. Buy good comic books. Buy the keys. Don't despair. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. That was my rambling rant today. Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will see you in the next video.